Welcome to Module 1, Lesson 5. We're going to go ahead and jump straight into it. This is a very similar lesson to Lesson 4. It's still on the division side, but we're going to be talking about how the unknown is the number of groups in division. Last lesson was about the unknown as the number in each group. So basically what I was getting at in multiplication, it always goes groups in each group total, like this. So it goes the groups times how many are in each group equals the total. And that will always be the case in multiplication. Always go groups times how many in each group equals the total. Now division, it kind of follows a similar rule, but it's not quite as solid. There's two possibilities for this. The very first one is if you start off with your total and you can divide it by how many groups you have, which is what is in that last lesson. The total divided by groups equals how many are in each group. And we did that. We did yesterday. We kind of had a total and we put out groups and we put the amount in each group and we found out how many were in each group. Now we're going to be doing the next option on this. We're going to be finding out that we have a total and we know how many are in each group. We're trying to find out how many groups are there. Now, for the most part, this mathematically follows the exact same rules as the previous one. But just kind of the multiplication one, how depending on which is the groups and which is in each group, depending if you swap like 3 times 4 versus 4 times 3, it'll give you the same answer, but visually it looks different. These visually look different from each other. And that's what we're going to be focusing on. So we're going to be talking about how if I have a total, I know how many are in each group, and then I'm going to split them into those groups to find out how many groups do I have. So we'll go ahead and jump straight into that. And I'll use a similar problem as yesterday as an example, just so we can kind of get into the flow and the idea of this. And that problem was 12 divided by 4 equals 3. Now, on the previous time, I'll just kind of do this quick. We talked about how this was the total. This was how many groups, and this was how many was in each group. We're trying to find that 3. So we started with 12. We put 4 groups down, and we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We've found the total, and now there's 3 in each group. That was the main idea behind that one. Now, we're going to be changing it up a bit, and we're going to be swapping these two numbers. Instead of there being 4 groups, now I'm going to say there's 4 in each group. And we're trying to find out how many groups there are. Once again, we're using this example. We already know there's going to be 3 groups. So for this one, it will be a little bit different visually. Once again, the answer is still 3, but instead of there being 3 in each group, there are 3 groups this time. Visually, kind of do that. I'll use Skittles as the same example. You'll notice I often use Skittles. They're a very good example, just because circles are easy to draw. So I'll draw out those 12 Skittles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now I have those 12, a total here. Now I look at this next one. I know that there's 4 in each group. Previously, if I was to say that there were 4 groups, I'd make those 4 groups, and then I drop each one of those Skittles into those groups one at a time over and over and over until there's none left. But since I don't know how many groups there are, I can't put them in anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going like, well, I don't know how many groups I have, but I know how many are in each group. And I know that each group has 4. So this is how I'm going to do this problem. I'm going to be, there's 4 in each group. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. There's one group. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a second group, and 1, 2, 3, 4. There is a third group. So this is how it looks differently than the other one. This one is trying to find out how many groups are there. So this shows there's 1, 2, 3 groups. If we were trying to find, if we had a total of 12 split into groups of 4, and we're trying to find out how many groups there were. Now, let's do one more example real quick. One that we don't know the end result yet, just so we can kind of show how you find that. And last time we did a larger number. We did 20 divided by 10. just kind of show how it can work in different ways as well. I'm going to go a little bit on the other side. I'm going to go ahead and do a 10 divided by 2. And once again, I'm going to specify what that 2 is. The 10 is our total, and I'm going to say 2 is in each group. And I could create a sentence for this. And that is going to be how many groups do we have. I could say I have, once again, actually, let's do flowers this time. I have 10 flowers. And well, I almost said something a little wrong there. If I had 10 flowers and there were different colored flowers, but there is 2 of each colored flower, how many different colored flowers do you have? So basically saying you have a total of 10 flowers, and there's 2 of each color. How many colors do you have? And so I go ahead and just draw those flowers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, I went to 11. Don't know why I went to 11, but once again, just another mistake. You can just double check. Normally, after you write stuff down, it's always good to just double check to make sure you didn't do more or less. So you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wait a second. I only need 10. Get rid of that extra one, because if you do more, you're going to get a different answer than you're supposed to. Make sure you're solving the problem that you're looking at, not a different problem. Because if you solve 2 plus 2 equals 4, but the question was 5 plus 2, well, 2 plus 2 does equal 4, but you solved the wrong problem kind of thing. Make sure you're answering the problem that you're being asked for. And so I have a total of 10. There's 2 in each group. So once again, I'm just going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to put them into groups of 2 and then count how many groups there are. So there's 1, 2, put those in a group. 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 And 1, 2, I'm going to put these 2 in an elongated group. There's still one group, but it's just a goofy looking group. Now I have a total of 10 put into groups of 2. Now we can find out how many groups there are. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our answer here would be 5. Now, that's kind of the primary idea of this one. You'll get some additional practice in Zern and some additional practice in your problem sets and homework. But I hope this is helpful, and have a good day.